Good morning, all of you. You all are welcome in the e-learning classes of the Sacred Heart School. Today in this video, I will start the second part of the equilibrium, that is the concept of the ionic equilibrium. And up to the previous part, we have done the concept of equilibrium and how the law of mass action is helpful to explain the expression for the equilibrium, that is in a form of the equilibrium constant. We have also done the types of the equilibrium constant, and we have done how the Kp and Kc can be related to each other. So now in this video I will start the concept of the electrolyte and how this electrolyte and dissociate to form the corresponding cations and anion. And we will also discuss about the some other common phenomena like as the buffer solution, like as a common ion effect, as well as we will discuss about the theories of the acid as well as bases. Is it clear? So now I am going to start the concept of the ionic equilibrium. I am going to start the concept of ionic equilibrium. Basically, in this concept, how many topics we will cover up? We will cover up the explanation of the theories of the acid and bases, identify the acid and base, and how the conjugate acid and bases can be distinguished together. We will discuss about the calculation of the pH of the acid and base, and we will also discuss about the determination of the degree of dissociation as well as the degree of association. So, first of all, before starting all these segments, we should know the meaning of the concept of electrolyte. What is the meaning of term electrolyte? An electrolyte means all type of the chemicals or the substances through which you can pass the current. Or you can say, whenever the current is passed through by any substance, the substance dissociate to form the corresponding components. And these components may be the free radicals, and these components may be the cation as well as anion. In the chapter chemical bonding, we know the cleavage of the bond can be made by the two ways. This cleavage may be the homolytic, and this cleavage may be the heterolytic. Whenever in a presence of the electricity, the cleavage of the bond takes place by the homolytic fission, and that time the corresponding free radicals are obtained. On the other hand, whenever the breaking or cleavage of the bond takes place in a heterolytic way, the resultant component is cation as well as anion. So, first of all, you should know the meaning of the concept of the electrolyte. After explaining the concept of electrolyte, now all the theories of the acid and bases can be classified in various ways. And first of all, the most primitive one, that known as classical theory of the acid and base, that we are not covering here. But before starting this Arrhenius concept, I will explain the what was the basic assumptions of the classical theory of the acid and base. Later on, we will discuss about the Arrhenius theory of the acid and base. Later on, we will discuss about the Bronsted-Lowry concept of the acid and base. And finally, we will discuss about the Lewis concept of the acid and base. And mainly, these three theories having some limitation and also having some advantages. So in this way, all type of the acid can be explained on the basis of these theories, that is Arrhenius, Bronsted-Lowry as well as the Lewis concept. Whenever the chemistry was in the elementary stage, that time we have very limited number of the equipments, and on the basis of the physical observation of the chemicals, all type of the chemicals can be classified in two main types. One is acid as well as base. So on the basis of the classical theory, how you can distinguish between the acid and base? First of all, I am taking the concept of the acid. What are acid? All those compounds which are Soren test, that known as the acid. All those compounds through which you can pass the current, or you can say the all those compounds which having the conductivity, that known as acid. All those compounds which can convert the blue litmus to the red, that also known as acid. On the other hand, whenever we talk about the base, all type of the bitter substances known as bases, and all type of the compound through which you can pass the current, they can also be the base, and all those compound which can convert the red litmus to blue, that known as base. And this was the most primitive theory, that known as classical theory. But in this classical theory, the concept of the dissociation was not involved. Whenever any electrolyte or acid and bases are taken there, and these compounds dissociate to form the corresponding cations and anion, and this point is not included in the classical theory, and that's why we have to discard this theory. And now, on the basis of the concept of dissociation and ionization of the compound, and these three theories have been put forward. And first of all, I am taking here the Arrhenius concept. Clear? What do you mean by the Arrhenius concept? On the basis of the Arrhenius concept, all those compound which after dissociation can liberate the H positive ion or hydronium ion, that known as acid. And suppose if you will take the example of HNO3, this is HNO3, and this compound after dissociation can liberate this proton, and it will also liberate this NO3 negative. So this compound HNO3 is an example of the acid because it liberated this hydronium ion. In the same way, if you will take the example of the HCl, so you know this HCl can also dissociate to form the H positive as well as the Cl negative ion. So we can say HCl is counted as acid. On the other hand, if you will take the example of the H2SO4, and this H2SO4 also dissociate to form the 2H positive plus SO4 negative negative. So in this way, the liberation of the 2H positive ion indicate that this sulfuric acid is an acid there. In the same way, on the basis of dissociation, all those compounds which have a tendency to liberate the OH negative ion, that known as bases. What are bases? All those compounds which after dissociation can liberate the OH negative ion, that known as base. The simple example, that is the NaOH. And when this NaOH dissociated, and it will dissociate to form the OH negative ion, so we can say this NaOH is counted as a base. You can take few more example. Example, calcium hydroxide. You know the formula of calcium hydroxide is CaOH ka whole twice. So after dissociation, CaOH whole twice dissociate to form the Ca2 positive ion as well as the 2OH negative ion. If you will take the aluminium hydroxide, the formula is AlOH thrice. So now after dissociation, it can form the Al3 positive plus 3OH1 negative. And all these compounds after dissociation are liberating the OH negative ion. So all these compounds known as what? All these compounds known as the bases. So Arrhenius included the concept of dissociation just to classify the acid as well as bases. Now this theory you have done in the previous classes, but now we are looking for the basic limitations of the Arrhenius theory. And this theory is restricted only for the aqueous solution. You can easily observe this property here. In this two example, we are taking the medium of the reaction is water. Without water, the acid and basic property can also be proved, but this point is not included in the Arrhenius theory, and that's why we have to discard this theory on the basis this theory is limited only for the aqueous solution. This theory does not account for the basicity of the substance, especially ammonia. You know, the basic formula of ammonia is NH3. And in this NH3, the nitrogen having one lone pair of electron. But according to the Arrhenius concept, only those compounds exhibit the basic character which after liberation can liberate the OH negative ion. But ammonia is not having the OH negative ion. The basic formula of ammonia is NH3. But this ammonia is a very strong base. So we cannot explain the basic nature of ammonia on the basis of the Arrhenius theory. And later on, this limitation is explained by the Arrhenius. If you will dissolve ammonia in the water, and this ammonia can dissociate to form this ammonium hydroxide, that is the NH4OH. And this NH4OH in the aqueous medium can liberate the ammonium ion, that is NH4 positive plus OH negative. So we can say the basic nature of ammonia can be proved only in the aqueous medium. But this is counted as a basic limitation of this theory. Now, after completing this one, the next theory is Bronsted and Lowry theory. What is the basic point of the Bronsted and Lowry? And basically, this theory is totally based upon the concept of the proton transfer. All those compounds are known as acid, which have a tendency to donate one H positive ion. And the same point is given by the Arrhenius. But regarding the basis, the concept of Bronsted is totally different. According to Bronsted and Lowry, all those compounds which have a tendency to accept one H positive ion, or simply you can say the proton, that known as bases. So we can say acids are the proton donor, while the bases are the proton recipient, or you can say protons acceptor known as bases and proton donor known as acid. So acid base reaction is basically depends upon the proton transfer, and all those compound according to this theory explains the acidity and the basicity of the weak acid and base. This compound partially dissociated in water, and this reversible symbol is used to show their basic reaction. And all those compounds which can donate the proton, that known as acid, and which can accept the proton, that known as bases. And you can easily explain this concept here. This is the HA. H stands for proton and A stands for any component of the acid. And this one is water, and water having the lone pair of electron on this oxygen atom. So this H is donated from this acid and gained by this water. And resultant compound will be this hydronium ion, that is the H3O positive, and A negative is left behind. So this H positive, HA, and this A negative together known as conjugate acid base pair together. This A negative now have a tendency to gain the H positive ion, because this A negative having the negative charge, or you can say this one is anion. Whenever the excess of the H positive ion comes in contact with this A negative, and this A negative is again converted to this HA. So this HA and A negative together known as conjugate acid base pair. You can also find out this pair. This water and this H3O positive differ only by the proton, and this is without proton, which can donate the accept the proton, and now it can donate the proton. So these two compound paired together known as conjugate acid base pair. So basically Bronsted and Lowry also introduced the two more terms, that is the conjugate acid base pair. You can take one more example just to understand the concept of the acid base pair. This is the H positive ion. This is the acetic acid, which can liberate the H positive ion, which this is counted as acid. Water can gain the H positive ion, it is counted as a base. And this H3O positive can donate the electron, and it can counted as acid. And this acetate ion can gain the electron, it is counted as a base. So this acetic acid and the acetate ion together known as the pair. This pair known as conjugate acid base pair 1. And this water and this hydronium ion also differ by the H positive ion, so it is also counted as a conjugate acid base pair 2. So reactions are given to you. In these reactions, you have to identify the pair of the conjugate acid and the pair of the conjugate base. Now I am taking one more example. This ammonia and this water, and these two compounds are combined to form this ammonium hydroxide, and which later dissociate to form the OH negative and this ammonium ion. So this water and OH is differ only by the proton. So these together known as conjugate acid base pair, and this ammonia and ammonium ion also differ by the H positive ion. So they also counted as the acid base pair together. So in this way, the concept of the acid base pair can also be identified on the basis of this compound. One more terms introduced by the Arrhenius, Bronsted and Lowry, that is the ampholites. Ampholites are amphiprotic compounds. Substance such as water, ion such as the hydrogen sulfide ion are Bronsted acid and bases together. These compounds known as ampholites, or you can say the compound which can exhibit the property of acid, this compound which can shows the property of the base also, dual nature, and such compounds known as ampholites. And water is the best example of the ampholite there. And now this exercise, you have to identify the conjugate acid base pair. I have told you all those compounds which can have a tendency to donate H positive, that known as the conjugate acid, and which can have a tendency to gain the electron H positive ion, that known as base. Cl negative can gain the H positive, so it is counted as conjugate base, and HCl can donate the H positives, it is counted as conjugate acid. And this S2PO41 negative, this phosphide ion can liberate the H positive, and it can liberate and it can gain. This is the base, or this one is acid. In this way, the other example you have to try in your notebooks. Now, the Lewis concept of the acid and base. Up to the previous topic, we have done the two basic theory of the acid and bases. The second theory that we have done earlier, that one is conjugate acid base theory. In that theory, you have done the conjugate acid base concept, but that theory having some limitations also. What was the basic limitations? The basic limitations are, this theory cannot explain the strength of the acid and base. The previous theory cannot explain the strength of the acid and base. Some acid are strong acid, some acid are weak acid, some base are strong base, some bases are weak base. And these points is not explained by all previous theory. Besides it, the extent of dissociation in some acid is more, extent of dissociation in some base is more. Why some compounds having the more extent of the dissociation and more less extent of dissociation, and this point is not included in all previous theory, that is the Arrhenius theory as well as the conjugate acid base theory. Now all previous theory is basically depends upon the proton transfer, clear? But in the Lewis concept, first of all, we are taking here the electron transfer to explain the property of the acid and base. All those compounds in which can donate the electron pair, that known as the conjugate base. On the other hand, all those compounds which can accept the electron pair, that known as conjugate acid. Lewis acid. So, how you can explain the acid and base on the basis of Lewis concept? According to Lewis, bases are electron pair donor, and on the basis of Lewis, the acid are electron pair acceptor. In the first time in this theory, no proton transfer is counted there. On the basis of the two previous theory that you have done, the concept of the acid and bases by the Arrhenius and Lowry concept, all Arrhenius acid are Bronsted acid, but not all Bronsted bases are Arrhenius bases. You can easily understand this concept. According to Arrhenius, only the OH negative ion liberating compounds known as base. But according to Bronsted and Lowry, bases are those compounds which can accept the H positive ion. So regarding the bases, the Arrhenius concept and the Lowry concept given the different explanation, but according to Arrhenius as well as according to Lowry concept, the same statement is given for the acid, and that's why this point you have to count it here. So basically, Lewis concept is applicable, and all those compound which can donate the electron pair, that can be explained on the basis of this one. So now this BF3 molecule, this is the electron deficient compound. This ammonia having one lone pair, this is given shown by this one. This ammonia can given this lone pair to this BF3. So this BF3 is known as Bronsted acid, and this ammonia known as the Lewis acid, and this is known as Lewis acid, and this one known as Lewis base. So जो इलेक्ट्रॉन ट्रांसफर करे वो लुइस बेस है, जो इलेक्ट्रॉन एक्सेप्ट करे वो लुइस एसिड है. यू कैन गिव ऑल्सो सम एग्जाम्पल AlCl3, example ZnCl2, FeCl3, and all these compounds are the electron deficient compound, and their property can be explained on the basic one. Clear? Now I am going to explain the relative strength of the Bronsted and Lowry acid and the degree of dissociation. What do you mean by the degree of dissociation? The strong acid dissociated completely, 100% quantity dissociated in the corresponding cations and anions. On the other hand, weak acid are those and which dissociated up to some extent. In the same way, you can also apply this concept for the bases also. The basic strength, on the basis of this strength, the weakest acid is acetic acid, somewhat stronger is hyponitrous acid, somewhat more stronger is sulfuric acid, the strongest one is HCl. These properties for the anion for the bases are increased in the following order. The strongest base is ammonia and the weakest is this nitrite ion. So in this way, you can also find out this relative strength on the basis of the degree of dissociation as well as degree of association. Acid basis dissociation constant. This topic is basically used to give the mathematical expression regarding the strength of the acid and base. You have to apply here the law of mass action. You have done this law earlier. This is a reversible reaction, and at equilibrium the rate of forward reaction becomes equal to the rate of backward reaction. You know, at this situation you have to calculate the value of the equilibrium constant, and this equilibrium constant is equal to this H3O negative ion, the H3O positive ion concentration, this A negative ion concentration upon HA concentration. Why this water is not counted here? Because water having the fixed concentration, that is the 1000 ml upon 18, and it become 55, and when this 55 is counted with this K, and now the word A is added here. So basically this is the fixed concentration, so we are not counting here. So the Ka is used for acid. In the same way, for the bases you can calculate the value of Kb. So whenever the two acids are comparing together, whenever the two bases are comparing together, so that time you have to remember, if the two acid you are comparing, the acid which having the bigger value of Ka known as the strong acid. Whenever you will compare the two bases together, the base which having the bigger value of Kb, that known as the strong base. So in this way, the basic comparison always you have to remember, ये सबसे first time regarding the strength calculations आपने formula apply किया है. तो Ka and Kb, and Ka is basically for acid and Kb is basically for the bases. So in this way, this basic formula is used to compare the strength of the acid and bases together. On the other hand, whenever this Ka and Kb is expressed in term of the log, so basically basic formula becomes the pKa is equal to minus logarithm of Ka, and pKb is equal to minus logarithm of Kb. So small the value of pKa means the stronger acid, and small the value of pKb means the stronger basis. So whenever you will express the value in term of this Ka and Kb, in term of Ka and Kb, bigger the value of Ka, bigger the value of Kb means strong acid and strong base. And the same value whenever you express in term of the log, and that time small the value of pKa, small the value of pKb means the strong acid as well as the strong base. So these basic points you have to remember to explain the strength of the acid and bases. Some examples I am taking here. The pKb value is given there. This pKb value, ammonia the value is this one, and acetic ion the value is this one, and this NO2 negative ion the value of the pK is given there. So you can also automatically calculate these compound on the basis of the acid strength. You know, small the value of Kb means weak acid. So in this way, this exercise you can do for practice. Is it clear? These points are very important points of the theory of the Lewis acid and base. And first time on the basis of this pH concept, we will discuss about the strength of the acid and base. Remaining content, like as the buffer solution, like as the concept of the common ion effect, like as the concept of the titration, we will discuss in the next video. So do practice of the questions important for you have to identify the conjugate acid and base pair in the following example. Second part, whenever the compounds are given to you, you have to arrange these compounds on the basis of their basis strength as well as acidic strength. So whenever the two compounds are given to you, identify which one of them is strong acid and which one of them is weak base. And next segment, we will discuss about the concept of dissociation on the basis of the Ostwald dilution law. Thank you very much.